Okay, oh, hang on. Turbo conquering Mega Eagle. Okay, okay. So, doesn't this look familiar, hey? This was the back of the truck crane that I built specifically for, you know, picking up engines and whatnot, and hilariously made it too short to pick up engines and get them into the back of the truck. Yeah. So where does the bed comes to about there, pulleys up there, and with this one here, you know, there's a fair few inches we're losing there. You know, the cable came right out there and down, it'd be fine probably, but with the pulley hanging underneath and then another block there's no way this is quite tall enough. So you know, what I'd also like to do is bring the pulley in a bit, so there's less leverage on the whole thing, because as long as I can swing it into the back of the truck, that's all I need. I don't actually have to get it that far into the truck. I've got a plastic load liner in the truck and everything slides around quite nicely on there. So yeah, that's what we'll do. I won't show you all the cutting and welding. We'll just figure it out, get it done, and then go and pick up another engine. Alright, okay. So as you can see, I bent the crane a bit. It's not too bad, but if I'd continued doing what I was doing rather than finding some flat ground, it would have probably toppled. So I picked this up on a lateral slope. The truck was level front to back, but on the slope side to side, and that's how this happened. I ended up having to abort when bad things started happening and relocate the truck for another lift. So it's twisted the receptacle on the truck, yeah, and I should have just used a bit of box section rather than my own sort of structure there. The reason I made a wedge shaped structure, a triangular structure there, was to get as great a rotational movement out of this crane as possible. So this back strap that adds quite a lot of strength and secures the crane, so I can travel with it in place. Yeah, just for clearance and that, I suppose. You know, the long and short of it is, I picked up an engine much heavier than the other engines I've picked up. I think there's about 200 pounds difference, or what do you want, 80 kilo, 75 kilo difference between this engine I picked up yesterday and the heaviest engine I've picked up previously. Yeah. So this where do we go from with this? Right. And the structure itself's got no lateral strength, so we did banana this this mast, if you want. Up top's fine. You can see the changes I've made. Basically, rather than having a horizontal boom or jib, I don't know, it came off probably 30 degrees difference from that 90, 30 degrees off the 90. Shortened this a bit, you know, you can see that, and mounted the pulley up a bit higher, and obviously got the winch up top. So I picked up a good foot of height and reduced the reach. I think it ended up being, it went from 21 down to 17, so 4 inches, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, reducing that lever arm should have allowed us to pick up a lot more, and it probably would have been absolutely fine if I'd done it on level ground. But well, it's good to have these little hiccups and not mess stuff up too badly. Yeah. So I shall limit myself to the sort of weight I pick up with this. I think that would be a sensible idea. But you know, what if I want to pick up heavier stuff? What do I do? I do like this crane. It's a nice, simple, lightweight little crane, and with a cheap Chinese shitty winch. But obviously we found the limitations, didn't we? Hey, so I could remake this crane for lifting heavier stuff. I think the American approach would be to use massive pipe, yeah, and that'd give us the lateral strength and you know, what, we'd never have to worry about anything. I think the British approach, or English as I've written here, I suppose, would be you know, something silly like a Warren truss. You know, maximise the number of critical joints in the structure, and like labour involved in producing it. But we'd end up with something that looked quite nice. I think I like a nice Warren truss. The other thing I was thinking is just well, not ditch this engine crane, this truck bed crane, because it's, you know, it's proved itself useful for lighter stuff, but to build a folding crane, I don't like the Chinese ones. They've got tiny wheels the same as every other engine crane, so you know, I like the idea of building something that's folding and decent performance on lumpy ground, or you know, so I could make use of it at home, outside, as well as going to pick stuff up. And I had thought about a tail lift. I think it'd be fun to try and do something like this with a winch mounted in the truck bed. So rather than having hydraulics down here and putting a lot of weight down here, we could I don't know, there's you know, obviously this geometry is way off, because this this lift would end up here, wouldn't it? But you know what I'm saying anyway. That's just something that had crossed my mind, an incredibly simple form of tail lift or something, I don't know. So this engine, I got a this lovely Peta. Peta's the complete one is a PH2W, so water cooled. As you can see, it's got a radiator with it and a radiator fan. It's no water pump on this. It just works by heat siphon, and you know, cools itself adequately. Huge lump of metal here. Yeah, there's at least 600 pounds in this package with the built-on clutch and the radiator there. I think the radiator alone is about 50 pounds of copper. So nice little package there. And the other one is the stripped down block and most of the major components for a AV2W, so a little bit of an older engine, slightly lower output, but still a nice machine there. And it had been my intention to get one of these water cooled Petas for the dump truck Mark III, which is a very long way off. But yeah, I like the idea of having a radiator and something that looks like a Scammell Pioneer, and trying to reproduce Scammell's Scammell suspension setup. Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to do. Not necessarily make something that looks like a Scammell too much, but reproducing their drivetrain, but have it as a dumper. And to do that, for there to be any point in me making a dump truck Mark III now, I have to exceed the capacity of the current 1.5 ton dump truck that I've got. You know, that's a long way off. A more immediate project, once I start tunnelling in the bunker, I'm going to want to start the basement of the above ground workshop, and to do that I really need my own digger. I'm going to get a digger in to get around the top very shortly in the next week or so, and I hope, but I can't keep hiring a digger, so we're going to build a digger, and this will also double as the replacement for the mighty crane, which has now been chopped up, and this is kind of what I've got. Well, I've got the backhoe for tractor so far, and I think it would make a lot more sense to use this Peta in the digger setup, because I'm going to need a lot of ballast, and that 600 pounds of 13 horsepower Peta diesel is looking like a very sensible plan right now, because it means I can make the whole thing a lot shorter, which means it's more manoeuvrable, which is quite important if we've not got a full 360 degrees of rotation here. We have just got a backhoe, so it's you know, let's say it's 180 degrees. It's not, it's under, but let's just say it is. And so having it shorter means we can get into tighter spots, and we can only have it shorter if we've got more ballast there. So I'm beginning to think. Oh, and the fact that it's water cooled as well means that rather than having a separate radiator for the hydraulics, we can run a heat exchange into the water system of the engine, which is you know, you should massively cut down on complexity of the whole system, I think. And that radiator's definitely got enough meat in it to deal with the extra heat. Maybe we'll add a pump, a water pump. It would be a little bit sketchy leaving this without a water pump, because if we end up on an incline and it's only siphon circulated, you know, we could end up with no cooling and cooking the engine. So yeah, I don't know, lots of options there. And we'll have to find something else exciting for Dump Truck Mark III. I do have another boat engine, another PETA boat engine as it happens. It's a mini twin, they called them, AC2W, so it's a much later engine, much more compact, and it weighs about 200 pounds complete as opposed to this 600 pound package. So you know, and we don't really need the ballast in a dump truck. I don't know, nothing's set in stone, is it, till we start cutting metal? But we are going to need something for lifting heavy stuff. I mean, at some point I've got to reassemble that winch. I've got some oil seals now, and lift that up on top of the pit. Well, we've got to make the pit first, haven't we? God, there's so much stuff to do. I better get on. All right, all right, folks. So reason I'm telling you about these hiccups and whatnot is I always appreciate your input. Some very knowledgeable, intelligent people that watch this channel. God only knows why, but you do. So it's always interesting to hear what you've got to say on the matter. I don't think I'm going to touch this anymore. We've gained enough lift for me to pick up any lighter engine and get it into the back of the truck. But I just have to be a little bit stricter about how much I load this thing up. Yeah. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you later. Bye bye.